hex. Here hex 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 hex.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is Dheeraj More speaking for the Hex Guild. A very blessed Good Friday to everyone who is listening. Yes, I would like to have a kind of an apology. I have postponed this stream too many times because he I, I couldn't do it on my own, but at the end of the day, sometimes like you have to say what to say, eat the frog and get it over with. I didn't want to like postpone it or not have a live stream in on this channel for more than 2 weeks. So that is one thing I wanted to get off my chest. I will post the link to join here. If you can, more than welcome. Otherwise, I have kind of prepared to do a solo live stream. Usually, it doesn't get as many views when I do a solo live stream, but it doesn't really matter. This is a very small channel, just around. We need five more to get the 400 marks. So I hope we do that organically, not because some person gave a shout out and then we have a bunch of bots following us. Or I, but oh, I see Finbear here. In the chat, good morning, good morning. Like it was his suggestion for the title, separating wheat from the chaff. um me be, because now 2 weeks ago what was happening, I don't even remember specifically, but there was a lot of further regarding hex and pulse chain and people going out here and there. So that was what I was thinking. Uh, Finbear is saying, I wanna go test my new machines. Uh, I'll keep you in the background and try to keep all my fingers. Yes, a safety first. Thank you, and hopefully, if you guys are watching on replay, I would suggest please do that. At least if you can't bear with my voice, you can turn the audio off and let the video play in the background. So at least we get some feed the algorithm is what the term I was looking for, so that we can feed the algorithm. But before I go on my own tangent, because I was saying, Finbear suggested this title regarding uh, separating the wheat from the chaff. I slipped and said separating weed from the chaff, but a slip. Maybe it was just a Freudian slip. Uh, but for me, like I always thought that like um separating wheat from the chaff by the meaning of a metaphor being separating. something valuable from what is unvaluable, or ge- getting separating, uh, what should I say? Best way is separating uh, signal from the noise. Uh, yes, we want to do that, especially in the Hexagon community, because there are uh, now, after 4.5 years, and around, well, around 2 years since pulse change has been announced, or rather the sacrifice had been announced, 2 or 3. So we have so many YouTubers, so many live streams, content creators, Twitter spaces. And I do believe there is one Twitter space going on right now where the founder of this channel is speaking. Don't go there. Listen here. This is more important. So what I was saying was, yeah, I only thought about it as separating a signal from the noise. But then, of course, because it is the Holy Weekend, uh, I was looking for, if, or rather, if there is a biblical reference to separating wheat from the chaff. Well, and of course there is. I and like somehow a lot of our language, rather specifically English language, has been built around biblical references. Very understandable. So I just, uh, because of course it is Good Friday, why not read some Bible? I wanted to bring that up. Let's see if we can present it. Yes. Oops. People have stopped sharing. So here is, so I always like to reference stuff, because that way nobody can say I'm, where is this? Oops, sorry. It's this one. Here. Whose fan? Now, this is the King James Bible version. Uh, whose fan is in his hand, and and he will thoroughly purge his floor and gather his wheat into the garner and put hi- but he will burn up the chaff with unquenchable fire. So this is the biblical reference, where of course the reference is, yeah, I this is what my limited knowledge suggests me, that whose fan is in his hand is with reference to Jesus Christ. When he will return, he will purge the floor, gather the wheat into the garner. That is, the righteous people will go to heaven and will burn the chaff with unquenchable fire, which means the unholy will go to the unquenchable fires of hell, which kind of reminded me of the most popular verse of the Bible, due to, of course, due to Hollywood. which is Ezekiel 25:17, uh, which is made famous in the movie Pulp Fiction, and uh, the word the rather it is was made famous because of the dialogue delivery by Samuel L. Jackson. Now I am going to butcher that dialogue delivery by reading it out myself. Where Ezekiel 25:17, the path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who, in the name of charity and goodwill, shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness. For he is truly the brother's keeper and the finder of lost children, and I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee. Yes, that is the most famous verse, but when you in the movie itself, like he mentions that he likes reciting that verse to the people he's about to kill because he finds it like one of the coolest or the coldest thing to say before killing someone. But it's actually a made up verse. So I again, Google is amazing. I searched up what the real verse is, and here is the real verse. It's not that long. uh, 25:17, King James version. And I will execute great vengeance upon them with furious rebukes, and shall know that I am, and they shall know that I am the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon them. So about the is kind of made up. But while I was researching, you know what came up? Uh, just look up like the Philistines. So a couple of verses above, thus saith the Lord, because Philistines have dealt by revenge and have taken vengeance with a despiteful heart to destroy it for the old hatred. I therefore thus said the Lord, behold, I will stretch out mine hand upon the Philistines and will cut off the Cherethims and destroy the remnant of the sea coast. So yeah, it kind of makes sense what is going on, like why that verse is kind of made famous via uh, Hollywood. Sorry, I think I'm cutting off. It's Yeah, so that is the main reason that book is, or that verse has been made famous, because I know like some of the people will Google it, and or rather, if not Google it, uh, because I don't think that Google was available when that movie launched. But people did kind of would ask their pastors and whoever members of their congregations or at least search up the Bible for the verse, and then they will end up reading that this verse and renew their hatred for the Philistines, and that is how they kind of uh, what is the word I was looking for? Subliminal messaging or covert messaging works. So if you didn't know by now, this is how it was. But while reading this, I also came across a very strange verse, which I think is the second most famous verse by quoted by mostly by I think mostly quoted by atheists for because uh, again this is also part of Ezekiel, book of Ezekiel. This is where is it? Which were yes 23, 23 Ezekiel 23 10 no 12 12 23 12 2 3 1 2 quite a good number. She doted upon the Assyrians, her, her neighbors, captains, rulers, clothed most gorgeously, horsemen riding all of, no, not this one. Sorry, 23 20. Yes. For she doted upon their paramours, whose flesh is like the flesh of asses, and whose issue i- is like the issue of horses. Uh, like uh, here, like I had to. Sorry, this. Oh, this is the King James version, so it's kind of weird sounding. But if you go to the new international standard version, then you would understand the real meaning of oops 20. See, yes, 20. She she lusted after her paramours, whose genitals are like those of donkeys, and whose emissions are like those of horses. Like, yes, we are supposed to be reading this book to our children. Great, nice. I don't know why this, why I had to bring this up because that is what is. Look, read the Bible, you will find more and more things. You know, I encourage reading the Bible. Why? Because I listened to a couple of atheists streaming, and according to them, the biggest reason why people give up on Christianity or turn atheist is because they actually read the Bible. So I encourage everyone to read the Bible. You stop sharing. Yes, there are two people still listening. It was great. So again, like before that, I wanted to say, I think I missed a point I was going to make. Yes, regarding the separating wheat from the chaff, like the metaphor is understood separating even the biblical reference of separating righteous from the unrighteous, um, or righteous from the evil. But if you go through with the metaphor, like what happens to the chaff, even if it is burned, it turns into ash, which kind of doesn't decompose for a very long time. Whereas the wheat, which is put in the garner, then is ground up, then it is soaked or soaked, then kneaded, then it is led to uh, ferment, then it is baked in the fire of the oven, and then it is swallowed by or eaten up by the farmer or the cook or whoever, and then it passes through his elementary system and comes out as poop, and that decomposes but faster, and it gets converted back into heat. So this is a weird metaphor, and that is why people aren't always encouraged to think about metaphors or parables, or stories too literally. And rather, that is why parables are used so often, because they kind of shunt our uh, perception and or dis disassemble, not disassemble, no, the word would be they obfuscate the hidden meanings, or they try to anyways. Oops, what was I saying? I do hope people are still listening in the I do think people are still listening in the background. Then that was about it, what I wanted to say. Wanted to complete at least half an hour of speaking, but I'm running out of things to say. Mm, there are no questions and subscribing, or if not, uh, Higgs guilt. Apologies for my internet. It kind of dropped off by live stream. I will do that later. I don't have any. We will cover other things like the what and on on this channel hopefully, and of course we have uh, goddess Star on the next live stream. Uh, that at least I will be doing is on the